and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Dennis Adigunloye. Let's begin with the headlines. It's Good Friday, commemorating the death of Jesus Christ. President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with Christians, re-echoes need to uphold tenets of the celebration. Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, resumes continuous voter registration exercise on Monday, 28th June 2021 nationwide. And federal government extends period of linkage of national identification number to SIM by 1 month as database exceeds 51 million. And we begin with the mood of the season. Today is Good Friday, the day Christians world over celebrate the ultimate sacrifice made by the Lord Jesus Christ, who is believed to have died on the cross for the salvation of mankind. And as the day dovetails into Easter celebrations, President Muhammadu Buhari rejoices with Christians on the occasion of this year's celebration. And in a statement, the President says Easter is an opportunity to renew hope and faith, show love and appreciation to one another, and not to despair no matter the challenges of the period. The President recalls that a year ago in most major cities, celebrations were somewhat subdued as we battled the effect of the deadly coronavirus pandemic. He added that the restrictions meant that brethren could not attend traditional church services as they would have wished. He commended their resilience and understanding, adding that today we are able to congregate and worship together cautiously. President Buhari acknowledged and expressed gratitude to doctors, nurses, and other frontline health workers who have made the difference in saving lives and ensuring the reduction of the spread of the virus. He says the country is united in the belief that if things are done right, the right decisions are taken, and all act responsibly, the pandemic, like others before it, will no longer be a threat. The President says the government has reached out with palliative care even in the midst of dwindling resources and has made the best efforts to provide support to families and businesses affected at this time. He equally commends law enforcement and military personnel who continue to confront evil-minded individuals through the darkest of nights to keep us all safe. President Buhari congratulates Christians on this occasion and wishes everyone a happy Easter celebration. And Senate President Ahmed Lawan has felicitated with Nigerians, particularly the Christian faithful, as they join the rest of the Christian world in celebrating Easter. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Ola Awuni, Senator Lawan noted that Easter is one of the most important events in the Christian calendar, which is to celebrate the sacrificial death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And as Christians the world over prepare for the 2021 Easter celebration, clerics in the Federal Capital Territory have called on the faithful to use the occasion to express humanity to others and in the donation of alms to the needy and the less privileged in society. They also called for strict adherence to preventive measures against coronavirus during the festivities. Alika Okpanachiaroa brings us reports on the public expectation of this year's Easter celebration.
Easter is one of the oldest festivals in the Christian calendar, being one of the pillars the Christian faith is hinged on. It is the celebration of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. As many Nigerians get busy with last-minute preparations and recalling with nostalgia the 2020 Easter celebration, which was done behind closed doors due to the coronavirus pandemic, they are grateful for the grace to celebrate the 2021 Easter with family and friends.
Last year, the major problem we have was the coronavirus. At least we still thank God that this year is better off than last year.
Especially just for more vaccine, that we are praying that by this time next year there should nothing like corona again.
This time last year, we were suffering from consequences of coronavirus. Now you can see we're trying to recover from that, So I think the fact that there is life, the gift of life, is worth celebrating every day.
Chaplain, NTA Chapel of Resurrection, Reverend Jacob Kano Ibiton, advised Christians across the country to emulate the life of Christ and live in peace with one another for the progress and prosperity of Nigeria.
See ourselves as one. And if we see ourselves as one, we should work together as one Nigeria. And with that, we will witness more progress in all nooks and crannies in this country.
A message to our government is, if Christ crucified, resurrected, it means that so many things dead in this nation can also be resurrected.
They also maintain that Nigeria is not out of the woods yet, hence the need for the public to adhere to all COVID-19 safety protocols in the course of the celebration. In Abuja, Alika Okpanachi, Arua, NTA News.
Now, the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, has called for a review of highway codes and laws while emphasizing the need for stiffer penalties for road traffic offenders in the country. He made this known at the Easter mega rally organized by the Federal Road Safety Corps in collaboration with Bayes University Law Clinic in Abuja. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
The rush has started. Utaku Motor Park getting busier as usual, and the reason not far-fetched. Preparation for the Easter celebration. As expected, high vehicular movement on the highways, and that is why the Federal Road Safety Corps is taking the campaign to the doorsteps of motorists in motor parks nationwide. But this time around, with the Minister of Transportation and other stakeholders in the industry, just to drive home the message of the need for safe driving and zero road fatalities before, during, and after the Easter celebration.
The major problem we're having now has to do with crashes at night, involving all these trailers carrying cattle, cows, and we have people sitting on top.
While supporting FRSC's efforts in ensuring effective traffic management through strict adherence to highway codes, some of the transporters reiterated that over 200 illegal motor parks exist in the FCT, with just only 3 cited in Karu, Zuba, and Utako are legal.
This will go a long way, as you can see, to sensitize our people whose view adhere to strict rules.
Assuring that the Jabi Park will soon get a facelift renovation, the Minister of Transportation urged motorists not to drive above the approved speed limit in order to arrive safely to their destination.
If a man knows that reckless driving will cause death, and that if he does that, he will go to jail, he won't be reckless in driving. So the reason for introducing, for joining those who say there must be sanctions applicable to traffic laws is because it will reduce the level of carnage and the level of traffic incidents that we have on the road.
The Corps, however, charged commercial transporters to complete installation of speed-limiting devices in all their vehicles. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, is working in synergy with its major stakeholders to ramp up sensitization against recklessness on the roads during the Easter celebration. Speaking on NTA's current affairs program, Nigeria Today, the Deputy Corps Public Education Officer, Charles Edem, says over 25,000 regular and special marshals have been deployed nationwide for effective traffic control during the Easter special operation.
For personnel, that comprises, of course, the major cadres, the officers of men, and of course, the special marshals and members of the Road Safety Club too are part of these special operations. And that's talking about deployment of personnel. Then in terms of logistics, we have about 580 patrol vehicles deployed across the country. We have well over 50 ambulances.
He implores road users to play their part by adhering strictly to road traffic rules and regulations to ensure free flow of traffic and an accident-free Easter celebration.
Same old story. Impatience on the part of drivers, unplanned journeys, driving under the influence of alcohol, and poor maintenance of vehicles, and some of them will readily be quick to say it's the bad road. Like, yeah, to an extent, the roads are not good, but then, if you know the roads are bad, I think you're supposed to adjust your speed, to align with the bad nature of the road. So everything still boils down to the driver.
Nigeria Today is live every weekday on NTA News 24. In other news, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has begun an indefinite strike after consulting with its Congress. A reconciliation meeting held last night ended with the signing of a memorandum of understanding, an action plan for implementation of the demands between the federal government and the group, with the hope that it would prevent the strike. Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, had assured the group that government had started addressing their demands and within the stipulated timeline will settle all their agitations.
Government has moved proactively to address most of the issues ahead of your coming. In lower parlance, what we have done here today is that we have arrested their disputes and we are addressing them. And we're happy that you understand. So I give you assurance that most of the things written here will be done.
NLRD is fighting against non-payments and non-recruitment of house officers, abolition of bench fees, non-payment of national minimum wage and hazard allowance. On Federal Capital Territory has reaffirmed the position of the Senate that the FCT Inland Revenue Service be totally independent from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Chairman of the committee, Senator Abubakar Kyari, was speaking at the 2021 budget interaction with the chairman of the FCT Inland Revenue Service, Abdullahi Atta. The committee reacted to the revision of 1 billion naira to be paid to the Federal Inland Revenue Service by the FCT IRS.
They want to pay 1 billion naira to FIRS. What is that 1 billion for?
So we have a transition arrangement with FIRS in which they gave us 8 of their offices that was already collecting on behalf of FCT. They were using 220 staff to do this work when they were FRS. We requested for half, so they gave us 117 staff. So they gave us 10 vehicles, gave us 117 staff. So we agreed that we will pay them some percentage of our collection.
We have agreed that that's it, nothing more will be paid to FIRS. They're not to collect anything on your behalf. We have given you all the support that you require, 100%, and you are still charging 1 billion again to go to FIRS. For what?
You intend to buy some properties. The chairman, I don't think buying of properties for your offices should be a priority now. Please, we need as much money as possible for FCT to undertake various developmental projects.
The committee harped on the need for the automation of the FCT IRS for a more efficient service. Now, more than 51 million Nigerians have so far been enrolled for the mandatory national identification number by the National Identity Management Commission. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami, stated this while giving an update on the enrollment exercise. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has details.
Today we live in a country where our population is being estimated by saying plus minus 10 million. Are you happy with this? Nobody will be happy. Plus minus 10 million is enough to be a population of another country.
The ongoing enrollment exercise for the national identification number, the minister insists, is critical towards achieving a complete and reliable database for Nigerian citizens. He reminded Nigerians to enroll in their own interest, warning that those yet to obtain the national identification number risk a 14-year jail term as stipulated by the Nigerian Constitution.
As the minister in charge of the sector, this is one of the most difficult decisions we have taken, but it becomes necessary in order to ensure we contribute our quota in making our country safe and secure for all.
The minister said for citizens to conduct certain activities or enjoy government services, including obtaining voters' cards and opening a bank account in the country without the national identification number, is an offense.
Mr. President has appointed me to ensure laws and policies of government are implemented. With all sense of humility and responsibility, we want to ensure our laws are respected, and we will go to any extent to convince our citizens to respect the law, and we will do our best to enforce the law in collaboration with other stakeholders and security agencies.
He said no country will be successful in education, health, budget, or national planning without a database of its citizens in place. The Director General of the National Identity Management Commission, Aliyu Abdulaziz Abubakar, reacts to alleged widespread extortion of enrollees by the registration officials and touts.
NIN is free, and it is free for all citizens, therefore that nobody should pay any person. So, and you know it is a crime from the giver and also the taker. All our staff that are found wanting, we discipline them, but we are not in charge of what happens outside the centers. If there are touts, the security agencies are also working on that, and they have been catching a lot of people. So my advice is for people to resist, because enrollment is free. And even the private sector people that have been engaged now, it's government that is going to pay them for the activities that they do.
The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy expressed the belief that at the end of the registration exercise, each and every SIM in Nigeria will be attached to its rightful owner. From the State House, Adam Musambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has approved an extension for the period of NIN SIM linkage to 6th May 2021. According to a joint statement by the head corporate communications of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMSI Kayode Adegoke, and Director Public Affairs National Communications Commission, NTC, Ikechukwu Adinde, the President's approval was conveyed by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Issa Ali Pantami, who chaired the meeting of the Ministerial Task Force on the NIN SIM data linkage. The statement adds that the decision is predicated on the current number of monthly enrollments, which has increased significantly to about 2.6 million registrations. There has also been a remarkable increase in the number of enrollment centers across the country, with about 3,800 centers available for enrollments. There are also many more new centers in the pipeline. You're on to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We'll take a short break now. When we return, no verifiable evidence on reported killings of NSAS protesters at Lekki tollgate last year. This is coming from the... Thanks for remaining with us. Now, the United States Department of State says there is no verifiable evidence on the reported killings of NSAS protesters at the Lekki tollgate on October 20th last year. In a report titled 2020 Country Reports on Human Rights Practices, Nigeria, and released on Tuesday this week, the United States explains that accurate information on fatalities resulting from the shooting was not available at the end of last year. Governments disputed Amnesty International's report of 10 casualties, while no other organization was able to verify the claim. The report also touches on the issues of extrajudicial killings, insurgency and corruption, as well as banditry in Nigeria, acknowledging the efforts of the government in ensuring good governance in the country. In the meantime, the Buhari Media Organization, BMO, describes the U.S. report as a vindication of the administration's stance that troops did not open fire on protesters, and a further dent in the credibility of Amnesty International. BMO says the U.S. human rights report has shown the unreliability of Amnesty International as an unbiased witness of truth, as well as, and they also called into question the motive of the organizers of the NSAS in seeking to blackmail the government and cause global disaffection against Nigeria by spreading deliberate falsehood. The group adds that President Buhari would continue to respect and uphold the fundamental rights of all Nigerians, regardless of their religious, ethnic, or political persuasions. Now, after about 2.5 years INEC has announced Monday, 28th of June 2021, for the resumption of the continuous voter registration exercise nationwide. Mia Ogidi reports that the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, is however worried over the growing security concerns in Anambra State.
A tiny material, but a mighty weapon for the electorate. But providing this material was suspended in August 2018, but to resume in June 2021. This will continue till the third quarter of the year 2022. But in Anambra State, the exercise will be temporarily suspended in August 2021 and will resume after the governorship elections in November. This is to enable INEC tidy up the voter register.
We are going to deploy the online registration portal so that people don't have to crowd around the polling units during the period for registration of voters. They can start the process online, and there's going to be a locator to the portal that we are developing that will guide them to the next available registration center. So they simply go for the capture of their facials and the biometrics. You don't have to go and spend a long time doing all the processes all at the same time. And we hope also that doing so will help us to deal with one of the nagging issues in voter registration, that is multiple registration. I repeat, NIN is not going to be mandatory for voter registration for the simple reason that we are operating on the basis of the law establishing INEC.
Governorship election slated for November 6 in Anambra State, but the sounds of gun scare INEC because the commission is yet to recover from the Ekiti State constituency experience where some lives were lost.
And we have suspended Ekiti indefinitely, and I mean indefinitely.
Indefinite in Ekiti State, but preventing the spread of the coronavirus through the syringe is definite. So the INEC chair takes its job. Mayor Ogede, NTA News.
Now, the state chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, have joined those demanding for the extension of the ongoing membership registration and revalidation exercise of the party. Chairman of the Forum of APC State Chairman Ali Bukar Dalori addressed journalists at the end of a closed-door strategic engagement in Abuja. They appealed to the Governor Mai Malabuni-led caretaker and extraordinary National Convention Committee to carry out its functions, including organizing a national convention within the time frame.
The exercise so far has provided a prelude to what is to be expected in all future elections in Nigeria. With the turnout of Nigerians to identify with us, it is certain that the trust of Nigerians in the party remain unwavering. Thus, after conduct and conclusions of the membership restoration and the revalidation exercise, we urgently call for the immediate conduct of Congress on convening of the National Convention.
The ongoing membership registration and revalidation exercise by the party commenced in February and was expected to last for a month. Plateau State Governor Simon Bakulalong has received with delight the appointments of the chaplain, Government House Chapel, Right Reverend Messenger David Ajang, as Bishop-elect, Catholic Diocese of Lafia, by the Holy Father, Pope Francis. Governor Lalong said he is excited about the news because of the suitability of Father Ajang to carry out the assignment. He said apart from working closely with Father Ajang as chaplain of the Government House, he has followed closely his exploits as a member of the College of Consultors of the Metropolitan Archdiocese of Jos and pastor of the Immaculate Conception and Dean of Zaramaganda in Jos. Governor Lalong said he has no doubt that the newly appointed bishop-elect will take the Catholic Diocese of Lafia to greater heights as he shepherds the faithful and leads them in the path of righteousness, truth and love. While thanking Father David Ajang for his prayers, counsel and spiritual guidance over the years, Governor Lalong said the new bishop-elect of Lafia will be remembered for his role in the restoration of peace and prosperity to Plateau State under the rescue administration. He assured him of the prayers and support of the people and government of Plateau State in his new assignment, promising to stand by him at all times. And on that note, we conclude the news at 10 on NTA News.